As one of the largest informal settlements in Freetown, Dwarzack is an important and diverse community, organized in 12 different neighborhoods. It has grown considerably throughout the years, particularly after the decade-long civil war. Dwarzack also attracts large numbers of migrants in search of job opportunities. However, the informal sector remains the largest employer, with the majority of women and youth involved in informal value chains. The main informal sector in Dwarzack is stone quarrying. Although an important source of livelihood, its depletive nature creates insecurities and impacts the environment with increased sediment discharge, rock mineral removal, which leads to landform destruction and water quality deterioration. According to Sierra Leone's Agenda for Prosperity, the country's key development report, economic growth has not reduced poverty, inequality, or vulnerability to risks. This can be observed in the increasing numbers and sprawling of informal settlements across the capital, which are characterized by dense and precarious living conditions. Dwarzack's growth was not accompanied by government investments in infrastructure and services, resulting in significant changes in land use dynamics with intensifying competition over natural resources. One of the main reported issues is the poor quality of the drainage system.
As you can see, the drainage small, not neat, not make fine.
Water often overflows during the rainy season, which can harm businesses as well as facilitate the spread of diseases. Participants ascribe this problem to the frequent misuse of the water drainage system for solid waste disposal. Also, access to clean water in Dwarzack is limited. With no connection to the municipal water pipeline, the population shares 20 public water points, of which 9 are water taps and the rest are wells and springs. Residents describe water points as the most frequently used spaces in Dwarzack, but access is not convenient or safe, especially for younger and vulnerable groups. Our Learning Alliance in Dwarzack builds upon the work done by last year's ESD students. Through transit walks, surveys, and focus group discussions, they provided an assessment of environmental hazards and health risks, considering governance structure within the community. Due to the size of the settlement and its heterogeneity, assessing the social-spatial dynamics of exposure and vulnerability to risk is challenging. Dwarzack's governance structure and livelihood mechanisms are the result of years of development and reflect ongoing process of structural inclusion, exclusion, and adaptation to risks. The division of power among chiefs and community leaders is not accidental and exists alongside formal and informal networks. Increasing our understanding of social and political power relations may improve our analysis of social norms and practices that affect livelihood systems. Also, we would like to further look into Dwarzack's heterogeneity in terms of the positive network and capacity employed in different neighborhoods in response to risks. This brings us to collectives such as youth groups, women's savings groups, and other social organizations present there. We would like to know how they organize, what other formal and informal structures located with and outside the settlements they interact with in dealing with risks. Did collectives assist in informing boundaries, and to what extent do they influence the governance of territories? We also hope to survey livelihood strategies in the clusters and the different informal networks of social protection in existence. An in-depth understanding of how collective action is mobilized and the social capital and synergies activated in the process is essential to developing strategies to disrupt risk accumulation cycles. We hypothesize that collectives in Dwarzack possess transformative skills and capacities to attenuate different risk trajectories at the household and community levels. With formal and social protection very limited in Freetown's informal settlements, we also speculate that informal networks play a very critical role in social protection. Finally, we theorize that collectives are therefore part of the wider social and institutional context within which livelihoods are constructed, and that this intersectionality has implications for risk accumulation and/or mitigation. Our aim is to understand how collectives organize the formal and traditional systems they interact with, and what form of social protection and mutual assistance they offer residents in response to differential risks in Dwarzack settlements. We aim to conduct interviews to collect data on collectives, and then conduct focus group discussions with community-based organizations such as Community Disaster Management Committee, Women Saving Groups, as well as key residents along livelihood value chains. Young people, whose main incentive for volunteering is a commitment to reducing the risks of disasters in their communities, make up a large portion of the population, and engaging them can make activities effective in the short term and sustainable in the long term.
We come together as community stakeholders for sewage good, for minimize the flood in our streets and
Thank you for watching, and we look forward to working with you in this Learning Alliance. See you soon!